Hi Angels, I'm Francisco Angel and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. Oh my god, y'all, oh my god, y'all, I need to share this because I almost died of fucking embarrassment when I went to go see this movie. Because I went up and I ordered my ticket. I didn't pre-order it because I looked at it like 2 days before and there was only like 3 seats sold. And I was like, you know what, I'm fine. So the day of, I go and I ordered, I'm there. I went to go get my ticket. She gives me a ticket and she's like, "Oh, enjoy the movie." And I said you too. Like I told myself I would never be that person, and I did it. And I was like, "Oh no, sorry, not you. Obviously not you." Oh my god, I felt so. Oh my god, I was so embarrassed, guys. This almost tainted, like deadass, almost tainted the movie experience for me. I was so embarrassed. Anyways, yeah. I did not like the first film whatsoever. I actually sat down the night before I went to go see the second one, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna rewatch this, to see if I to just be in the mood for the next day. This to watch the second one. So I watched it, and about halfway through, I just turned it off, and I was like, you know what? I can't put myself through this again. Like, I know what happens. I remember, like, I know I'm good. But I was pleasantly surprised by this film. So on my letterbox, which by the way, follow me on letterbox, Franny Angel 5, I ended up giving it 3 stars. I know right now it has 100% of Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, okay, y'all, like, this is a huge improvement, but like, let's be for real. Like, calm down. First, I'm gonna talk about the positives. First is they brought Matt Leslie in to write, and he wrote Summer of '84, which is a film I like. They brought him in to write the script for this film, and you can tell by the fact that there's a plot this time around. There's a plot, and then there's characters that I actually do like. I can latch to Scott Chambers, like homeboy, like his rent was due and he came to pay that shit. Like he I was so like taken out in a good way. I was so shocked about him, his acting ability. I was like, I don't know, like cuz you go into a movie like this, you expect a certain caliber of actor, and I was like, wow. At one point I was like, maybe he's, is he above this film? I don't know, but there are points like he plays Christopher Robin with such kindness and tenderness that the character needs, but he has some emotional scenes where I was just like, oh, I feel like if anyone else would have played it. If the original Christopher Robin would have played it, like I'd be like, okay, y'all are trying too hard. But because how he performed it, I was like, oh, what? Like I'm actually feel I'm actually feeling some of this shit. That was impressive, and props to that. So my third positive, the designs on Pooh and Piglet. Plus, now we have Tigger and Owl. Way better. In the first one, you can tell that they're people in masks. This time around, the design really helped with the idea that these are supposed to be human animal hybrids. You can tell that they put money into those designs and making them look as practical and as nasty, as monstrous as possible. That was great. Obviously, overall, like the lighting and everything was way better in this film. So the kills were a mixed bag for me because there were kills that were very creative and very gory. And those were great. And the body count in this versus the first one is like tripled, maybe quadrupled. But the kills are great when you see them, like when you get to see them up close. Near the third act, there's a lot of kills that are done off screen or like distorted in some way, or like we're like having extreme close up of someone's reaction as they're getting killed, and we don't see a lot of the kill itself, and that happens a lot during the third act. And I wish, personally, I would prefer less kills if we get to see them more in detailed. Fuck, that makes me sound so fucking sadistic, but y'all are horror fans. You know what I'm gonna, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I would prefer less kills if we get to see like amazing practical effects throughout the majority of them. But when you do see it, it's great. It's great. They really amped up the gore for this one. Another positive is that in the first one, it was very, very like they in the first one they took that shit so seriously, and it's like, okay, you guys are a Winnie the Pooh slasher movie, like be fucking for real, like like know your lane. And in this time around, they do have more of self-awareness. Like they even poke fun at the first one, but they understand, and they lean more towards that, which made me have fun, which I did not have fun in the first one, but this one I did have fun. At some points, I think they still kept taking the story too seriously. However, that did, like I said, Scott Chambers like made me kind of not be as picky about that because the performance he would sell that performance. But yeah, that's one another thing where it's like I was finally able to have fun with this one as a campy B slasher than the first one. Those are my positives. Now I'm gonna go to the negatives. My first one is the CGI in this film. Like there are a lot of points where CGI is used either to try to enhance gore that was practical or to replace like full on limbs. Very noticeable, and it would take me out of the film. In the future, I would like this to see them like not rely on CGI. Like I get CGI for like Tigger's tail and all that, but there were points where like there were like full on limbs that were being replaced where I'm like try to do it practically or like don't because it was very noticeable and it did take me out of the experience. My second negative, that the movie just like ends very abruptly. I was like, oh, but where's this character and where's that character and blah blah blah. Also, the song choice. I know it maybe sounds like contradictive, but I know I'm saying that like, oh, this movie shouldn't be taking itself so serious, but the song choice is too corny, felt out of place for me, and then the song choice, and sorry, more specifically, the song choice at the very end of the film like felt too corny. Yeah, I didn't like it. The ending could have been better, and I think the climax fight with Pooh and Christopher was weak, and I wanted it to last more. Third negative is the pacing. The pacing of the film, like the first two halves, could have been tightened up a little better. There's like a point in the middle of the film where like like Christopher goes to this one character, and this one character gives like a whole other explanation, which I kind of dig the backstory that they give Pooh and the others, but the way it was like presented to us, it was very like gather around children because I'm about to hit you with a bunch of exposition. So it was very much like that. I know they're gonna do these other movies. I hope that in the future they can find ways to tell the backstories to all these characters in a more organic way. Overall, this was a huge improvement over the first one. The first one I genuinely do not like whatsoever. This one I was like, oh, you know what? I had fun with this. I really did have fun with this. Yeah, is this a perfect film? No, not by any means. But it is a film that if you are a horror lover, if you love slashers, like go watch it. It's very fun. You can have a laugh and watch a few great kills. But yeah, so now I'm gonna get into spoilers. So if you don't want this movie spoiled for you, just click away. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So I did like the idea that was it this Dr. Gallup took children and was experimenting with them, putting animal DNA so then they turn into these hybrids. And the fact that Pooh is Christopher Robin's brother Billy, I like that because they go back and they go back and Christopher Robin realizes, wow, Winnie was not what I thought as a kid. Like, he was fucked up even as a kid. I just kind of blocked that mentally. Which, why is that so me? Like, Christopher Robin was giving, when like Jimmy Kimmel or on shows where they have like the Halloween section and they put kids in with like a Michael Myers or like some horror character and they're all scared. But then there's like that one sweet little kid who goes up to them and hugs them. That was Christopher Robin with Winnie the Pooh. That's what he was giving. But it makes sense that if Pooh is Billy, why he didn't kill Christopher Robin in the beginning. Like, because he recognized him. And that's why he befriended him. So I do like that. There were goofy parts in the film. Christopher Robin has this chase scene with Pooh where he has a fucking chainsaw that's on fire, and he gets into this car, and Pooh is like, he breaks the car windows trying to get him with the chainsaw, and like he ends up getting inside, and then Christopher Robin jumps outside of the car and then closes the van, and then he's just like and he just stands there like as if he locked Pooh out, like out of this like I didn't get it. He was just and then suddenly the chainsaw pops out again of the car and he's like, oh my god. I started laughing so hard at that part. I was like, Christopher, be for real. Like, I know you're sweet, but like, get a grip. Like, oh my god. Okay, Scott Chambers, the scene where he discovers that his parents have been murdered by Pooh, his acting, that it almost made me cry. Like genuinely, the way he was selling it. There's like this innocent, tender man finding his parents butchered. Like rent was fucking due, and he was going to pay that shit. I was genuinely surprised, and again, that scene made me wanna. Oh, it almost brought tears to my eyes. I was just genuinely surprised by him. Yeah, so the CGI. There's one point where like it was like that dad and that kid who were bird watching, and then like the kid the kid sees owl and he's like, oh fuck that, and he like leaves his dad, and then his dad gets taken by owl. So after that, we see like body limbs of the dad be thrown into the river, and you can tell that they were comped, and like I looked like the leg was practical, but then the stump where it was ripped off, like that was clearly CGI, and it was rotoscoped on there to follow it down the river. I could tell. And then we see Pooh and Owl over a bridge, and the whole body that's there is clearly CGI. It's those moments where it's like we need less of this in the future and more practical if you can. At one point, I'm like, reuse some body parts. Like, there's so many people, there's so many deaths in this film. Reuse some body parts. Okay, so the ending again. Going to the ending. So he kills Pooh, and I knew Pooh was gonna come back because in Dr. Gallup's recording, he says that they can regenerate, and we know this to be true because he thought he killed them, and he buried them, thinking that they were dead, and they came back to life. So I knew that Pooh was gonna come back. Which, by the way, I actually like that Pooh actually says, "Oh bother" right before he dies. I'm like, that's campy. I love that. This is the direction the movie has to keep going in. And so I knew he was gonna come back to life, but I was like, "Where's Tigger?" Like Tigger got shot once, and he's like, "You know what? I'm out of this bitch." And then Owl, I was like, "Where the fuck is Owl?" Like, they just retreat. Also Piglet, homeboy done fucking dirty twice, because his ass got in the first one, and now this one he's taken out right away. I was like, y'all keep doing Piglet dirty, like they said, fuck Piglet. Which honestly, yeah, Piglet is my least favorite. Maybe even if he would have lived, I feel like Piglet would have been my least favorite in this. Okay, I also I like that they retconned the first movie, and they said that it was a movie within a movie. That's the movie they made about what happened to Christopher. I feel like that was the only way to explain why all the designs are different and why there's a different Christopher Robin. So I so I really did like that choice. Oh my god, the fact that they made the movie, the first Winnie the Pooh, in the movie say it's Pooh in time, fucking dead. I am. See, this is the kind of like schlocking camp that I'm like, this is where the movie should go. This is how this movie should be. I should be able to have stupid fun with this film. But yeah, so that's basically it. That's my review of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. What a surprise. Again, is it a perfect film? Not by any means, but I had fun, which is what I wanted from a Winnie the Pooh slasher movie. Like I had fun. But yeah, if you've seen the movie down below, let me know what you think. If you're gonna spoil, please mark it as spoiler so we don't spoil anything for anyone. I had fun, and until next time, bye, angels.